Hello and welcome back to Shelf Centered. This is Bryce, and I got a new microphone here, trying to kind of test it out. Figured I'd have some fun with more of an idea to get the conversation started than really a top list of all the best blah blah blah. But anyway, I wanted to kind of do this because I was thinking. I was just talking about 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I'd mentioned that I actually prefer the movie over the book, and that's usually a rare thing. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of go into what are some top science fiction, fantasy books and movies where we either prefer the movie or we kind of treat them at least the same, right? Where the book or the movies can kind of stack up to the books. So without further ado, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton, and let's jump right into it. All right, just because I mentioned it already, let's go with 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is one that the book itself is just it's a little more dry. And the movie, I thought it really played up well the kind of like almost sinister, AI intelligence aspects that I guess, and maybe again this could be just a what I watched or what I consumed first kind of thing, but because the movie itself was. And what's funny is this is the movie version, but the movie itself really, I felt like, did a really good job of just kind of playing up that idea of this AI kind of taking over, and you're like, oh, that'd be kind of scary if you're way out there in the middle of space, and you're fully not just slightly dependent, but almost 100% dependent on your AI, and who starts like doing some crazy things. Anyway, I just thought that was a really interesting concept. But anyway, I thought the book itself it's fine. It is not my favorite by Arthur C. Clarke. Rendezvous with Rama, if you want to start somewhere, Childhood's End, those are good places to start. 2001: A Space Odyssey might be his most famous, and probably because of the movie, but I just felt like the movie really does the better job, which is, again, this is what this list is about. All right, apparently I'm going back and forth between fantasy and science fiction. So here's a fantasy. Stardust. Actually, this is one where it's pretty close, but I think I like the movie better. The movie is one of my favorite movies. It has pre-Daredevil as the lead, which I'm so glad. I was so glad to see. I think it's Charlie Cox as Daredevil, but in the his new stuff. But him in Stardust is just, it's so good. It's such a funny movie. I just felt like it really got the substance of Neil Gaiman's writing so right. Gaiman has just this magical quality to his writing that is so good, but then it kind of even took it to places, not to spoil too much of the movie, but if you haven't seen it by now, come on, go see it. It's amazing. It is literally one of my all-time favorite movies, top 10 easy. It is just, it's so good. Michelle Pfeiffer is amazing, and Mark Strong, I think, is just hilarious, honestly. And there's so many parts that are hilarious, but I mean, one of them is just Robert De Niro in a tutu. Does that not make you want to see it alone? It is so good as a pirate in a tutu. Anyway, I just felt like the movie not only captured this, but even took things a little bit further, because I watched the movie first, actually. Apparently that's a habit of mine. But I watched the movie first, and I was looking for my Robert De Niro character pirate in a tutu, and I was disappointed. Come on. All right, I was actually looking for, and apparently I don't have my copy of this, but I was looking for Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I might have gotten, it might not have survived a move, because I had read it, and I read it pretty quickly after I bought it. And Blade Runner, I think, absolutely qualifies. I think that's the easy go-to of this whole list. But I just felt like a little bit different, right? Easy one is Blade Runner. It's a classic movie, and it's a great book too. Awesome book. But I felt like Minority Report, the movie, the Tom Cruise movie, and Colin Farrell early in his career, Minority Report, it's a pretty short story, and it's interesting. That's the beauty of Philip K. Dick, is that he does pack a punch in so many short stories. That's why so much of his stuff gets adapted. But Minority Report as a movie is also excellent. It's a really fun, fast-paced movie, more fast-paced than the book for sure. But again, the book is really good. This is one of those. It's neck and neck. I would not say. Whereas the first two I've stated so far, I think I like the movie better. Definitely in 2001. This is where we're pretty much right down the middle, but I really enjoy the movie. Thought that was a good one. All right, this is one, again, they're very neck and neck. I've lost my book copy of the first book, so I only have the second book, Castle in the Air. But it's Howl's Moving Castle is what I'm actually going for. Howl's Moving Castle, the movie is just amazing, and especially the American dubbed is has Christian Bale as the lead for Howl. Doing the voice, and it's just, I remember just being like, that's where I fell in love with Studio Ghibli, and haven't looked back. It's amazing. There's just so many great movies that Studio Ghibli has come out with, but Howl's Moving Castle, I have a special place in my heart for that, because it's just so good. It's so creative. It's just some of these ideas that I just had never even thought of before in my life. But the book is excellent, and it's just that the movie, the anime is just, it's a classic. It's stellar, and a lot of people just don't even know. Again, this is one more that I watched the movie first and then read the book. So if you haven't already, read the book. This is a sequel, actually. All right, one book I listened to on audio, so I don't actually have a physical copy, but the movie is slightly better, but I was surprised with how good the book was after having watched the movie, and that's going to be Jurassic Park, because we're switching back and forth, back to science fiction. Jurassic Park is so good. I had already been blown away as a kid by the movie. I even like the third movie. So, and it helps. Here's a little tip: root for the dinosaurs if you don't want to be too scared. But I gotta say, the Jurassic Park book is so good. I just, after being so blown away by the movie, it's so cool to see just that the book really, it's just well done. It's still good and definitely worth a read, even if you've seen the movie a million times. It's good to just get into those characters' heads a little bit better and more. I know I kind of changed this one up, but clearly the Jurassic Park movie, it blew everybody's minds at the time, and now it's, every sequel is like, and then we got back there because of the thing that we contrived. So, which is a little frustrating, but I don't really care that much about, it's like, whatever. We don't need a good reason to get back into Jurassic Park. Just to get there. That's great. Have dinosaurs walking around, and anyway, just a lot of it cool stuff and interesting, just scientific approach to it that doesn't get too bogged down. It's still very just action packed and good stuff. This is my ultimate one, because I kind of wanted to do, the Harry Potter movies, right? I'll add them as honorable mention, but mostly because they're just like, yeah, they're so good. Frankly, the first three Harry Potter movies, I might say, are better than the books. Then the books overtake them, so then the books are better. So that's, part of why it was like, yeah, the movies are amazing though, right? And but you still get so much more out of the books, especially the big chonker books, which start at book 4 and then go through 7. So that's where, like, Harry Potter, yeah, and especially the first 3, I do think the movies are better than the books. But my all-time favorite, the top of all of the movie adaptations of books, for me, is Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is one of my all-time favorite movies. Easy. It's so easy. It's hilarious. I quote it constantly. It's inconceivable how much I quote it, and I also use that wrong, poorly. So I'm constantly, especially the amount of times I have to be like, and I mean it, and then my kids will pipe back, Do you want a peanut? Does anybody want a peanut? Anyway, so and I'm mostly setting them up because I just love it. I love thinking about this movie. I read As You Wish, which Carrie Elwes, Wesley himself, who wrote that just about just the time filming the movie, and it's just so nostalgic, so great. And then again, read the book afterwards, and the book is excellent. And it's different enough that it's definitely worth reading. I do not recommend reading Buttercup's Baby, the kind of short story that they throw into this version. It's not that great, frankly. But the actual book itself, it's so funny. Just the way that it's told. The actual name of this book is The Princess Bride, S. Morgenstern's classic tale of true love and high adventure, the good parts version, abridged by William Goldman. So that whole scheme he takes, which I think it confuses a lot of people. In my review, I kind of explained it on Goodreads. I kind of explained it, and I get a lot of comments that are like, oh, okay, that makes more sense now. Because S. Morgenstern's classic tale does not exist. It in no way exists. It does, but it makes for a really funny just structure of the book, and a way for the author himself to kind of input things. Like, he's obsessed with the top things of the world, the top 5 kisses, right? We know from the movie, but it's just, there's so many more than that. He has these little cutaways, and he'll be like, this was before taxes. You have these little, like, it's constant, these like cutaways. He'll do it in parentheses, and it's like his own commentary, because again, it's his abridgment of the record, which really doesn't exist. So he's able to do things like, right here you can see the quote is "arg," and then it's right in the middle of the page here, and he he writes, "Arg was Greek for boo." Like, so there's just these constant, just like cutaways that are just they're funny. They just make it so funny. Constant like commentary, meta commentary, before meta really was a big thing. But that's what I'm saying is, Princess Bride it equates to equal with the movie. Whatever I've consumed most recently is my favorite, and the movie's been the most recent. So right now, while I'm filming this, I can say the movie is better until I reread this, and then this will be better. But right now, the movie's better. So it works. Anyway, I wanted to kind of just open this up. Like, what else is out there where the book is actually overshadowed somehow by the movie? I know it's rare. That's the whole point of this movie, of this video, and the whole point of why I'm making this, because it is rare. It's the rarity. It's not the norm. But what else have you got for me? Let me know in the comments below. Always curious. Again, always curious for a good movie, good book, right? So anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for checking this out, and can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. We'll see ya. Bye.